Okay, guys. So today we're going to start one of the important topic of Power BI, and that is called rollable security. Okay. So in short form, people call RLS, but if you see, it is rollable security. It's low level security. Okay. Now, what is this? Let's try to understand. Okay. So suppose in Gallagher report, we see that uh, we have some account categories, right? So we have account as a tier 1 account, tier 2 account, and tier 3 account. So what are basically these? Basically these are the clients, and we have grouped client based on their uh, revenue, like how much revenue that we are generating. If I can just show you this sales table, this is my fact table, and if I just show you the account grouping, this is a column. This is a calculated column, so I created this column. Okay, based on revenue. So like what we are doing, we have a revenue, and like what I am doing, I am grouping client based on revenue. So what I'm telling, I created one calculated column. The name of that particular column I give in that account grouping, and then I created one of the variable. I named that particular variable as underscore s underscore x. This is the name of the variable I've given, and I'm using one of the measure, that is account grouping revenue, which is present in measure table. Okay, so I'm using that. What is this measure? Let's see. So I will go to my measure table because this measure is inside this table. So measure table, and the name of the measure is account grouping revenue. So let me click on that. Let's try to open and just see the definition of that measure. Okay. So account grouping revenue. So we have account grouping revenue, and what I'm doing, I'm simpling what I'm if you see this calculation, what I'm using calculate function, and then I'm doing aggregation as sum of revenue. So I'm doing sum of revenue, and while finding the revenue, what I'm doing, I have applied one of the DAX function, that is called all except. What it is doing, it will remove the filter with the account name. Okay, so if there is any filter that will going to uh, affect my this sum of revenue, based on this account name column. So if there is any filter, it will going to remove or ignore that filter while doing the sum. Okay, so it simply it will going to give you the revenue account wise, sum of annual revenue. Okay, so what I am doing, if you see this calculated column, if I click on sales account category, so what I am doing, I'm just doing this sum of revenue, and what I'm saying, if the revenue is greater than 10,000, then that particular client will be tagged or flagged as tier 1. If the revenue is less than 5,000, then it should be flagged as tier 3, else it is flagged as tier 2. So tier 2 clients are those like which have revenue equal to or greater than 5,000 but less than 10,000. So what's I'm trying to tell you, so we have a revenue. And what I'm trying to say, if we have account or a client, tagged or flagged as tier 1. So I will say that, if I say tier 1, so the revenue will be greater than 10,000. Okay, then we have a tier 3. So what are these clients? Where revenue is less than 5,000. Okay, and in between tier 1 and tier 3, we have a tier 2 where revenue, which is, revenue is less than equal to 10,000, and revenue should be, greater than or equal to 5,000. Okay, so this is the condition. Based on this condition, I have segregated my client. So what I'm saying, if my client is generating more than 10,000 revenue, so it should be tagged as tier 1. If the revenue is between 10,000 and 5,000, it will be tagged as or flagged as tier 2. And if the revenue is less than 5,000, then it should be flagged as tier 3. And this is what I implemented it. So what I have done it, I created one of the calculated column in which I am using one of the measure. What this measure is giving, it will be going to give me the sum of revenue. And what I'm now calculating, I'm saying if the revenue is greater than 10,000, then give the flag to that particular account or client as tier 1. If the revenue is less than 5,000, then give as tier 3, else give me tier 2. So this is how, based on the revenue, how I got tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 clients. So some like this client or this account will be tier 2. So if you want to see, the account ID is A120, and corresponding account name will be also there. Account name also will. So these are the account IBP Connex Limited. So this is how account category, or basically in business or data analytics, if you are saying account name, it is name of the client. It is the client for which we are working. So this is how there was one requirement, and this is how I implemented, where I need to flag my account as tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And then then if you see this matrix visual, so if I just show you this matrix visual, if I show you this matrix visual, so what we have a tier 1 client, and their total revenue is this much. We have tier 2 client, their revenue is this much, and we have tier 3 client. If I expand this tier 1, so under tier 1, these are the different client that we have. Okay, and their corresponding revenue. Then if you expand tier 2, you have a different client, like so here, if you see ID Group Limited, and this is contributing 50K, right, in tier 1. If you see tier 2, we have a Ameda United Kingdom Limited, and this is contributing 10K. So these are the client, where the revenue is there. So if you see tier 2, none of the, all the revenue will be between 10K and 5K. All the revenue will be between 10K and 5K. If you see tier 1 client, all the revenue will be greater than 10k. So if you see Addy Group 50k, Addy Shuttle Group 60k, and so on. So all these client, if you see this tier 1 client, they have a revenue of 51 more than 10,000. See, all the revenue is more than 10,000. Then we have a tier 2 clients where the revenue is between 10k and 5k, that you can see. And then we have a tier 3 client where the revenue is less than 5k. We see a 4k, 3k, 0k, 1k, 2k. K means 1000. Okay. So what was the requirement? The requirement was that like if you see the data, right, we simply have account name. Earlier, like, data was not available with the account category. So what was the requirement? The requirement was that we need to group account into tier basis based on their revenue. So what was the grouping? If the revenue is greater than 10k, it should be grouped at tier 1. If the revenue is less than 5k, it should be label as tier 3. And if the revenue is between 10k and 5k, it should be labeled as tier 2. So this is how you need to implement. And now, since we have hierarchy basis data, what is the hierarchy? So what I'm trying to say, at the topmost hierarchy, we have a tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3. These are the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. If you go inside tier 1, we have their their own client. If you go to tier 2, they have their own client. So these type of data is called hierarchy data. When you have a topmost hierarchy and then you have a bottommost hierarchy. So here at the topmost hierarchy we have a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. At the second level we have name of the client that we are doing. Same way, if we talk about hierarchy basis data, suppose we have some category as whenever we order something from Amazon or Flipkart, so something things can be categorized as furniture, right? Now other thing can be categorized as electronics items, right? Okay. So under furniture, we may have we may have chair, we may have a table. Okay. Now under electronics item, we may have TV, we may have mobile, uh, we may have some video games, anything that we can buy, something that is electronics, so these are called category. And under each category we have further had subcategory, so these are the subcategory. So we have another category as electronic items, and then we have TV, mobile, video games, and then, like, another category can be clothing. And the data may be you may be jeans, you may be shirt, and other things. So these are called categories. So categories are furniture, electronics items, and clothing. These are the category. Under each category we have more than one subcategory. So these type of data is called, either you call it categories and subcategories data, or more frequent, these type of data in data field we call hierarchical data, right? Same way, if you try to understand it here, so we have hierarchy as tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Under each of the tier we have different client or account, and what are their respective revenue that they are contributing. So whenever you want to represent your hierarchical data, where you need to present at a high level data as a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And then if somebody interested to see under tier 1 what are the different account that is present there, and a person may be interested to see the account for the tier 3, you know so when these type of data, when there is a hierarchical level of data, the best visualization that you can plot is matrix visual. And this is what we have created matrix visual. So how to create matrix visual? So if you see, we have in matrix visual, whenever you are going to create, we have a row, we have a column, and we have a value. So your measure or any column that has data type as integer or a number, whenever you are using, it should come under value. What to drag and drop in inside value? So any measure or any column that has a data type as number. It may be whole number, it may be decimal number or anything. Okay. Now, under row, what you will plot, you will be under row, you will be dragging and dropping the category and subcategory. Like, I have drag and drop account grouping that will be going to give me information about tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And under each of these tier, what I have done it, I have drag and drop account name. So that is name of the client. Since I want at the top account grouping, so I kept that as a top. Then the next level should be account name. Under each of the account group, we have account name, so I kept as a second. So whenever you are creating matrix visual, do remember your measure will go into value, your category, subcategory, it will go inside row. Suppose, okay, so these two things are very very important. And if I click on this plus symbol, I'm able to go to the next level of hierarchy. Okay, so this is called drill down. This is called drill down. So I am at the top level, I am going one level down, seeing this value. Again, I will click it here, I will go to the next. Now this is called drill down. How we can do that? Using this symbol also. So like if you want to enable the drill down, you just need to click it here. See, it is saying click to turn on drill down. So we need to click it now. Since we have a two level already, we have the lowest level, that is account name. If I go to see the higher level data, like only to see tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, I don't want to see all these account under tier 1. I need to drill up, so I need to click it here. So when I drill up, I'm only able to see tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. When I drill up, see, when I I made my drill down and drill up active already by clicking on this symbol. Now, when I drill up, I'm able to see the topmost hierarchy, that is tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. If I want to see the, inside tier 1, what are the different account, inside tier 2, what are the different account, then I have to drill down. Drill down to means to see the data at account name level. Okay, so we need to click it here. Go to the next level in the hierarchy. So see, I'm able to see, next level of, all the data. Okay. If you click on drill up, we'll able to see tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. If we want to expand everything at one go, we need to click it here. So I have tier 1. Under tier 1, these are the data that I have. I have tier 2. Under tier 2, these are the data that I have. I have tier 3. These are the data I have. So if you want to expand all everything to the most lowest level, or it is also called granular level, then you need to click on this symbol. Now since now I am at the lowest level, I cannot drill down more. So these two are inactive, even these are inactive, I cannot click it. Now this is active, I can drill up, I can go at the next higher level. So I have tier 1, tier 2, and so this is called drill up, this is called drill down. So they may ask one question: what is the difference between drill up and drill down? Okay, this functionality is only available in the matrix visual. This matrix visual is helpful, sorry, when we have a hierarchical level of data. Okay, now suppose we have created tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Tier 1 client, uh, tier 2 client, and then we have a tier 3 client. We have a tier 1 client, tier 2 client, and tier 3 client. So these tier 1 is there. Suppose some manager who is in USA, right, and want, like he is in USA, he is a sales manager, he's a sales manager, he's a sales manager, he's sitting in USA. Now what is the requirement? That this manager who is sitting in USA should have access of data for only tier 1. All the client, those who belong to tier 1, you know manager who is in USA should able to see the data for tier 1 only. Now we have another sales manager in India. Now he should only have access of all the data or all the client, those who belong to tier 2. Now we have a sales manager in Japan, and he should only have the access of the data for tier 3. He should not have access of the data for the tier 1 and tier 2. Same, the manager in USA should have access of the data or all the client, those who belong to tier 1. He should not have access of the data for the client, those who belong to tier 2. Okay, so what I will doing, like I will be sharing this same report, this Gallagher sales report, this single report will be shared to manager in USA, manager in India, manager in Japan. But the USA manager will only able to see all those clients who belong to tier 1 and their data. The manager in India will, when he open this report, he will only able to see the data for all those clients, those who belong to tier 1, tier 2. Manager of India will not have access of the data for the tier 1 and tier 3. So when this type of implementation need to be done, this is called row level security, and this can be only implemented using row level security. Security, why I'm telling security? Because I want to secure my data. Like, USA manager will have access of data for only tier 1, he should not have access of tier 2 and tier 3. So I want to secure the data for the tier 1 and tier 3, you know from USA. So that is called security. Why I'm calling row level security? Why I'm calling row level security? So I understand why this word security come, but why row level? Okay, why row level? Let's try to understand. Let's try to understand. Let me go here. I'm inside sales table. Okay, and I have account grouping. So ideally, as of now, I'm able to see all the data for the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, all the data. Now let me apply filter for the tier 1. See, I apply the filter. Earlier this table have 170 rows, but after filtering we have only 93 rows. So we have only 93 rows which are belong to tier 1. So as of now you will see I have tier 1 only data. So only this much of data and only this much of account name should be visible to the sales manager who is in USA. So what I am doing, I have this table. In this table, I have column, right? I have column, and if you see, I have total 170 rows, out of which only 93 rows data will be visible to the manager who is in USA. Only 93 rows data will be visible. Remaining, see 70 rows and 7, like 77 rows data should not be visible to the manager who is in USA. So what I am doing, I am restricting the row that is accessible by manager who is in USA. Now if I apply the filter for the tier 2, so we have 170 rows, out of which only 64 row data or 64 row client belong to tier 2. This tier 2 is accessible with the sales manager who is in India. So ideally only this 64 row data out of 170 row data should be visible to the sales manager who is in India. Same apply to tier 3. So if I select tier 3 and then apply the filter, so out of 170 rows, the manager which who is sitting in Japan, he should only have access of only 13 rows data. He should not have access of all the data. So what I am doing while applying this security, what I am doing, I am restricting the number of row that is visible to the client. I'm not restricting which column should be visible and which column should not be visible. All the manager all the manager who is sitting in USA, India or Japan will able to see all the column. He will able to see the data for the quarter 1, stage number 1, quarter, year, everything. But how many rows? So only 13 rows, right? Only 13 rows. So he will be having the data for quarter, and but the data is only for the 13 rows. He will have the data for the primary offices, but only 13 rows data will be visible, and only those rows which belong to tier 3. Only those rows which belong to tier 3. If you see the account grouping, it is tier 3. That's why this type of security is called row level security. I'm restricting which row data should be visual to which manager. So I'm controlling the data, which row data should be visual, which row data should not be visual, and that's why this type of security is called row level security. In short term, in interview, people will going to directly ask what is RLS. You should able to understand. You should able to explain now. So RLS stands for Rollable Security. in which we are going to restrict the access of the data that is available in the fact table to the fewer row based on some condition. What is the condition? The condition provided or the requirement is that my sales manager who is in USA should only able to see the client data those who are belong from tier 1. So this was the requirement. Based on this category I will be going to restrict which row data will be visual to my sales manager who is in USA, who is in India, who is in Japan. So what I will do, I will first try to control the access you know that my USA sales manager should have. Okay, how to do that? Let's try to understand. So first of all, we have category as tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. Okay, we have tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. So ideally we should create one of the dimension table which contain information as tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3, and these are unique value. So these are tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. So there should be dimension table containing this information about what are the tires that is available for our data. So since we have only three tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3, if you see we have some, I have created, one of the uh, dimension table that has contained data as tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. Okay, how I've created it? If you go to transform data, even you can create manually or you can create using Power Query. Okay, you can create using Power Query. So I name this account category dim, and these have information of tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3, only 3 row. If you go to source, okay, so this data is manually entered. So we have tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. How to enter manual data? You can simply click on enter data and you will able to do that. So if I click on enter data, you will able to do that. Let me close and apply. So I have one of the dimension table which have information about tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. And now this dimension table should have relationship with my fact table. So this is my sales table. So this account category dimension table should have relationship between with the sales table. Should have relationship between the sales table. Why? So that this dimension table should able to filter this sales table. Why I'm creating this relationship? Because this dimension table should able to filter this sales table. So if you go to data model, because here only you can create the relationship and decide the cardinality. So let me click on that. If I drag and drop this account category dim table and this sales table, there will be relationship between these two tables. See, there was already a relationship created, and that's why when I drag and drop, it is visual here. So this is my account dim category table and this is my sales table. And if you see the relationship is based on account category. Here I am saying account category, here it is account grouping. It remain the same. So why I'm saying, if you see at account category, it has a data as tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. And here if you inside sales table, if you see account grouping, we have a data as tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. Only the header of the column is different, but the data is same only. And that's why I created a relationship based on account category. This is my dimension table. This is my fact table. See, my dimension table is filtering the fact table. So why I'm telling you? Because why I'm telling you, if I create one slicer or a filter, sorry, this is KPI. I need to select slicer. If I click a slicer, and into this slicer from account category, if I bring my account, so I have account as tier one, tier two, and tier three, and now I will have some table visual. So I have this table visual. I have this table visual, and inside this table visual, I will get data from you know sales table. So I have account name, right? So if I choose tier one, I have data for tier one only. See, if I choose tier two, I have the data for tier two only. If I choose tier three, I have the data for tier three only. Why this filtering is happening? Because this is my dimension table, account category deep. This is my fact table, sales table. I have created one relationship between my dimension table and the fact table based on the column account category, where I can see here the relationship is one and many, and the cross filter direction, it is coming from account category to sales. It means this table will able to filter this sales table, and that's why this filtering is happening. So whenever you need to, implement row level security based on this, like tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, you should have data for tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 in one of the dimension table. Okay, so if you see, I have this dimension table account category dim that has information of tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. And this dimension table should have relationship between with my fact table. So if there is one fact table, it should have relation with the one fact table. If there is more than one fact table, it should have relationship with other fact table as well. Now, once you done with data modeling, then what you will do, you will create role. So what you will do, you will create role. How to do that? Click on modeling, and you will see here under security we have manage role. So and view as. So first of all, I will click on manage role, and if you a new window will open saying manage security role, and we have a role plus symbol. I want to create some role. I will name that particular role. So what the name I want to give, so I will name as tier 1. I will name this table as tier 1. And where I will going to apply the filter, I will going to apply the filter on my dimension table. On my dimension table, what was the name of the dimension table I created? Account category that has information about account category tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. This is my dimension table. So I will apply the filter. So filter need to be applied on which column? So I need to select on this. Just one sec. I selected this column, and I will here under filter data I click plus. Under filter data you need to click plus. Now this account category table, it has column as account category. This is a column that this table have. This account category value should be equal to tier 1. Should be equal to tier 1. Make sure that the value that you are passing it here, the same value should be present in the table also. The same value should be present in the table also. So what I'm trying to tell you, just one sec. Let me close it. So see, if I go to account category dim table, I have account category as tier 1. So T is in capital, IER as small, and there is no space between tier and 1. So the same value should be, you need be passing while creating the role. So I created a role with tier 1 name. This tier 1, what it will do, it will apply the filter on this account category dim table. On which column? On column account category. What the filter it will going to apply? This value, this account category should be equal to tier 1. So this is the role that I have created. What I will do now, I will test my role, that whether my role is working fine or not. I will test my role. To test that role, you need to be in modeling tab, and then you have view as. So you need to click at view as. And since I created only one role, that is tier 1, I will choose tier 1 and click OK. So when I am viewing as tier 1, you will see that even this slicer showing data for only tier 1. Tier 2 and tier 3 are filtered out. Here you will see now viewing as tier 1. So I'm testing my the role that I have created, whether the role that I have created is working fine or not. So as of now, if you see this slicers 1 showing data for tier 1 only. Also, if you see the table, the data is showing for only tier 1. If you see here, we don't have a data for tier 2 and tier 3, nothing, only tier 1. All the pages will show data for tier 1 only. All the pages will show the data. So even the this metric visual showing data for tier 1. No other data is available, like tier 2 or tier 3 data is not available. We have data for tier 1 only. If you go to this sales page, we have data for tier 1 only. So if you expand it, we have data for tier 1. We have data for tier 1. Even like we have a producer 5 because he belonged to tier 1. Okay. If I click on stop viewing, if I click on stop view, now I will have all the data. So if you see, I have a data for tier 1. I will have data for tier 2 and tier 3 as well. I will have data for tier 2 and I will have data for tier 3 as well. If I go to this page, even this page now will have data for tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. If you go here, we have data for tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. All the data is available. So when we are creating some role, and if I'm assigning role as role 1, it will going to show all the data based on the filter condition that I have provided. What is the filter condition I am providing? That I'm applying filter on one of the table. The name of the table is account category team. I- Into in this table, I'm applying filter on the column as account category, and what I'm saying, the value of the account category should be equal to tier 1. And I name this role as tier 1. So what this role will going to do, it will going to apply the filter throughout report. Throughout report means it will going to apply the filter on this page. It will apply filter on this page, every page of the, and on which table it will going to apply, it will going to apply filter based on the account category. Since account category table has an active relationship, account category table has an active relationship with the sales table. If we are applying any filter on this table, it will be going to filter the sales table as well by default. So in role level security, what we are doing, basically we are applying filter on this dimension table, and since this dimension table has active relationship with this fact table, it will going to filter this fact table also. So when suppose if I want to create another role for tier 2, tier 2 Again, I will going to apply the filter on this table account category. I need to select it here and then click on filter data and choose the column that is account category. The value should be equal to tier 2. Let me click save. Now the two role has been created, tier 1 and tier 2. Now to test it whether tier role is working fine or not, if I click on tier 2 and click OK, I have data for tier 2 only. So see the data for tier 2 only. Here also you will see the data for tier 2 only. If you go to any pages, you have data for tier 2 only. Hey, I have data for tier 2 only. If you go to this page also, we have data for tier 2 only. If I just click on stop view, I have data for the filter. That filter will going to remove. Okay, so this is your second step. First, what you will do, you will create one of the dimension table that have information about tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Why it will have? Because I am going to apply the filter based on this criteria. For tier 1, USA manager should have access data. Tier 2, India manager. Tier 3, Japan manager should have. This information should be in the dimension table. Then the second step, you will be creating relationship between the dimension table and the fact table. If you have one fact table, you will be creating relationship with the one fact table. If you have two fact table, you should create a relationship with the two fact table. Once this relationship is created, what you will do, you will go to the report view, click on modeling tab, and then select manage role. Under this manage role, you can create new role. Like you just need to click a new role, give the name of the role. Like I want to give this role as tier 3. Okay, I want to give this role as tier 3. Now I have to decide on which table I need to apply the filter. I need to apply the filter on dimension table. Like the account category value should be equal to tier 3. And once you put this value, I click save. Your role will be going to create it. Once you create it, you need to test your role. So for test it, you need to click at view as and just click on tier 3 and check whether your filtering is working fine or not. The role that you have created is working fine or not. So I have data for tier 3. I have data for tier 3. Just go to another pages, just validate it. I have data for tier 3. It will going to apply the filter throughout this report. So when you share this report to the user who is in USA, and you will give access as a tier 3. Also, like tier 3 is for the Japan, so the user is in Japan, sales manager is in Japan. If you open this report, he will only able to see only this much data. Like he will not able to see all the account name or all the client name. He should have only able to see all the client, those who categorize as tier 3. Means their total revenue is less than 5k, less than 5k. So this is your third step. And after this step, you need to publish your report to the Power BI service. And at service level, you need to give the access as well. So that you have to do. I will be show you that. Meanwhile, somebody has some question, you can ask. Yeah. Okay, because this was the requirement given by the client. So suppose, uh, like if I show you all the data at one go, like what I can do. Let me create one table, right? Suppose I remove tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Suppose if I am giving you this data like this, we have account name, and then you can have revenue, like so we have uh, revenue. So these are the revenue that you are able to see here. Like you may have lots of data, so you need to scroll and find. And suppose what like you have some business requirement. Suppose what is the business requirement, that if my client, suppose I have 150 client, out of which what you will note it, in business, suppose you have 150, or suppose you have 100 clients, you have 100 clients. What you will note, out of this 100 client, only you will have 10 clients that will going to contribute about you know 50 to uh, 50 to 60% of revenue. Just try to let me complete. So what you will note, suppose you have 100 client, out of this 100 client, you will have some 10 clients which will going to which is going to give you about 50 to 60% of revenue. Then you have about 30 clients, 20 to 30 clients, those who will going to contribute next around 25 to 30% of revenue. And then you have remaining 60 clients contributing. They will be contributing about, we have a 60%, 30%, 90%, only 10% of revenue. Okay. So out of 100 clients, 10 clients is contributing about 50 to 60% of revenue. Next 30 clients is contributing around 25 to 30% of revenue. And then this 60 client, remaining 60 client contribute around 10%, 10 to 15% of revenue. So like you have 100 clients, you have resource, you may be getting requirement or some demands from your clients. So all the 100 clients will be going to give you requirements. On what basis you will going to prioritize your prioritize your work. So suppose like I will be focusing in no like this 10 clients. If suppose I got a requirement from this 10 clients, requirement from few these clients only, my first focus is to clear all the requirement that of these 10 clients, because these are very very important clients. From these 10 clients I am getting around 50 to 60% of revenue. So our focus should be here in providing the services, right? Also, we have these 60 clients. These 60 clients is contributing only 10% of revenue. Then I need to be talking to them, and I can talk to our management, discuss what are the things that we can do so that we can increase the revenue from these clients. We have 60 clients, but then also revenue contribution is only 10%. Why this is there? Do we provide do we provide better facility, or they may be, these 10 clients may be demanding some other services that our companies not have, but we can develop that thing and provide that particular services to these clients. Or the client, these are the new clients, these clients don't know about the other services that they have, that we have, and they are getting it from somewhere else. So there might be different reasons, where as a senior management, we need to sit together, we need to discuss, try to understand what may be the reason. So that's why I'm categorizing client as tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. because my first focus should be based on tier 1 clients, those who are contributing about my 50 to 60% of revenue. I will be giving time to this, but my first priority will be you know these tier 1 clients. And that's why you know whenever I am creating this report, like management does not have time to look about all the client and see their revenue. Okay, it is 8,834, this is 20,000 and so on. Does not have much of the time. So better representation of the data, so that in a single glance, my client or my people or management, those who are consuming my report, should have better idea or better picture about the data, is to categorize based on the tier, based on the revenue, as tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. And that's why I'm doing the categorizations. Yeah. Okay, guys. Oh, so that's all for the today. We'll try to continue ahead on row level security. So today we have seen, a static row level of security. Tomorrow we're going to discuss dynamic row level security and hierarchical row level security. So there are three different type of row level security, that we're going to see tomorrow. And we'll also see how to give the access of this role tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 on Power BI services. So we'll publish report on Power BI service tomorrow, and we'll show you that how to uh, give the access as tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3, right? Meanwhile, guys, if you have any questions on the topic that we have discussed, you can stay, other can drop. Thank you so much.